Welcome to Big Chicken, the show formerly known as the fan-controlled show. Look at that. We're raving. Your official companion show to fan-controlled sports and entertainment. I'm Jeff Cannata. I'm here with some of my favorite people, Leighton Batiste, Josh McCouga. What is up, fellas?
Oh, man. I made a grave mistake, and I put some of these polls in as picks today. And
picks is polls is picks.
Whoops-a-daisy.
Up is down, left is right.
Well, here we go. Anyway, I'm here, Jeff. Sorry, my bad. Fans, hey, what do you think?
I love the rave. I love that song at the beginning with the.
It's a good one.
It is a good one.
Right?
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Jeff, huge week.
What?
Huge week.
It's
Huge 24 hours.
You know, hey, I got to say, I know you guys already live streamed the national championship game, but you know who I'm excited for? You know who I'm happy for?
Who?
Our friend Devin Gardner.
Yeah.
Why? Did he get married?
No.
He's Michigan.
Michigan guy.
Michigan. I should text
Mr.
him.
Michigan.
I didn't even. That's my bad. My bad.
Just happy for him. I saw him on social media celebrating.
That's good.
And getting interviewed all around for places. I'm just happy for him, you know?
That's
I
good.
like that guy.
Yeah.
He's a great dude. Solid
Miss
dude.
that guy.
He's one of the nicer Michigan people, like the less like my farts don't stink Michigan people I've met in a long time. You know? Because as a Penn State fan and grad,
Not a fan.
I did.
Not a fan.
Yeah, just nothing funnier than like Barstool posting a video like Ann Arbor's on fire and they're lighting a couch outside of a Soul Cycle. Come on. It's not like Morgantown where they're lighting couches on fire in front of like a house that's on fire while a person runs by who's also on fire. You know? Jeff, I will say, we had a huge week at Fan Controlled as well. It was our first time ever that the winner of the weekly pick'ems, right, was almost to 6,000 points.
Yeah.
5963. Okay. 5,963 points. Won by a first timer named Crypto Worgen. Okay. Our buddy Woody the Duck was in the lead. There you go. There's the screenshot right over my face. I love it.
Nerdy falls to third.
He fell third. He was in like 8th at one point, and he crawled his way back into that top 3 where he rightfully deserves to be. And Woody the Duck he hung out with us during the national championship the whole night, much to the detriment of his marriage, as he said on the stream, is that my wife didn't really like that I was here all night. It was a 4.5 hour live stream. We did like 30 plus picks, and he went like 26-5 on the picks or something like that. It also doesn't hurt that like Washington didn't score at all.
Yeah.
So that helped as well.
Congrats, Crypto Worgen.
Crypto Worgen, he's a new fan. He's in here and he's loving all of them. Loving all of them.
Good stuff, Crypto Worgen. Or may I call you Mr. Worgen? Or maybe Ms. Worgen. Could be.
Mr. Like, apparently he's picking the brains of some people in the Discord, like asking for some advice on picks and polls and all that kind of stuff. And we've got international soccer, we've got hockey, NBA, football, everything in between, golf on the weekends. We're doing it all, Jeff. You got those picks, you got those polls, get in there, pick them and poll them.
Yep. Doing it all for my baby.
As Huey Lewis and the news.
Don't forget the news.
Famously said.
Worgen.
It's
Crypto Worgen. Oh, it's of the Worgen.
It's of the Worgen.
I need the accent. Go ahead and
do it. How annoyed are you if you've been known as Crypt of the Worgen, and then all of a sudden this thing called crypto happens and everybody's talking about crypto? And you're like, that's not me. I'm not all about crypto. I'm Crypt of the Worgen.
Crypt.
It's
he's an Irish. It's an applied apostrophe.
His first name is Crypt.
Okay. He's an Irishman. You know, he's an Irish
Crypto Worgen. It's a Crypto Worgen.
But yeah, so we had a big, and your top 100 are awarded control tokens, and I was not in the top 100, and I was well over 1,600 points. So if you want to be in that top 100, you got to get in there. You got to answer the picks, and you got to answer them correctly. So
sounds to me like you're terrible at picks and polls.
Yes, not great. Not great. BC Lion says CFL ? Yeah, when the CFL is playing, send me. See, I don't like it. Doesn't pop up on ESPN that well. Like we follow like the top at ESPN. I need to get some cricket picks in there as well. D Factor. I had a bit of an off week for picks, but I hope to bounce back. D Factor, I believe you were the one that asked me to put in the World Junior Hockey, and I did that last week. Shout out to the United States under 20 junior hockey team for winning the World Juniors. It's usually reserved for the Canadians to win.
Wow.
Lost like on some kind of crazy goal in the quarterfinals. In steps the United States, Jeff. They beat Sweden 6-2. They said,
nice.
Your Kallax and your Bjorken floor get IKEA. Take it back to Sweden. We will keep your meatballs. You can keep your furniture. AK, don't take that furniture. It like basically houses 99% of America.
Yeah. I had a thought the other day. Isn't it crazy that
I love your thoughts, Jeff.
That IKEA just doesn't advertise?
Never.
Like,
I've never seen
They don't need to advertise.
No.
How do you build that business that's so robust that you don't need to have IKEA ads?
They don't need them. What do you need? Their stores are, you can see them from space.
Yeah, that's how
that's an impressive business. We're like, we don't need to advertise on TV.
I think every single IKEA, I think their business model is we're going to make the store gigantic. We're going to put arrows so people know where to go, and we're going to put them off of every major highway in every major city so that you always drive by them. Always drive by them.
You do. Right? Yeah. I guess that's the advertisement is the giant blue building.
Yes. They're like, hey, is a mall going to go right here off this highway? Okay, we're gonna buy the property right next to it, and it's gonna be an IKEA. And like, that's great. We'll share a parking garage. Yada yada yada. Here's your Kallax.
There's your Kallax. You got to get that Kallax.
Got to get the Kallax, Jeff. Everybody knows that.
I actually need a Kallax for my to put in my closet. I need a Kallax.
You do need a Kallax. Like the Kallax is your classic cube structure. It comes in your 2s, your 4s, your 8s, your 16s, your 24s.
I got just off camera. I got Kallax right there.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
They gotta have Kallax.
As Tupac once famously said, "Live and die in a Kallax."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Big week. Big week.
Nice.
Big week.
Huge week. Huge week.
Great 24.
But I just want to give a shout out to all the people that pop in all the time for the picks and the polls. We put in like 50 some today, as well as polls that I thought would be picks. But I just I will answer them objectively. Okay, that's what I will do. On this program, I will close them out as the pick, so that I'll figure it out. Regardless, we're going to ask the pick poll questions at the end of the show. It's sort of like Josh Brady. I accidentally did it, and that's my bad. Don't yell at me, Jeff. Stop yelling at me.
I would never.
Jeff, is next week we're going to see you without a beard?
Yeah.
Wait, what's going on?
I got to shave my beard.
For
Jeff tell him, Jeff. Come on. You're not allowed.
We all know I'm a working actor.
Yes. Yeah.
I got cast in a thing, and I have to shave my beard.
Oh, okay.
And I got to keep it off until the end of the month. So it's going to be multiple weeks with beardless me. And you know what? I haven't seen beardless me in a while. And I'm not exactly certain I'm going to like it.
Jeff, what if this is what? Just go with me here. What if you shave the beard and the 49ers win the Super Bowl? You're going to have to shave your beard every NFL playoff year.
Oh man. Yeah. You have a good point. Oh, there I am. Look at me.
Wow.
Whoa.
Look at that handsome young man. Wow. Here's the before and after, and it is not pretty. Hey, wait. Let me see if I can do it.
It just feels like one of those like early 2000s shows that comes on like CW.
Yes.
Reruns. It's like a bite off of Friends, but it's not Friends.
I wish I would have happily done that show.
Or Buddies.
Jeff, I've got the name for you. Freddie Airmail just gave it to us. Hold on. What? It's not objectively.
Okay.
Objectively yours.
Sounds like you're having an aneurysm.
That's a good show name.
It does sound objectively is one of my favorite puns Freddie's ever come up with. Because subjectively, no fucking way. Okay. Objectively. Okay.
Your Honor, I am Jeff.
Wait, Jess, can we get that picture up again? He does look like a lawyer. Like I just want to see
Yeah.
it.
But we
There
need,
you
yeah,
Yeah.
Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Not a hint of gray in that hair. Look at that. Look at that youthful man.
Jeff. I think you're either what Leighton said, or you're the guy that you like are a junior agent at CAA and you came for drinks and you're like, listen, I love your idea for the SipCon, okay? But what if instead of a cast, we had AI robots? Well, it's big right now.
Yeah.
Really big. It's really
Yeah.
big right now. Yeah. Noah Wiley, Jeff. You're getting a lot of
I'll
Noah
take
Wileys.
it.
in
I'll
there.
take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take a Noah Wiley. I love the Noah
Yeah.
Wiley on ER, the early ER seasons. I'll take it.
I mean, yeah, the librarian is who they were kind of talking about. I like that the younger generation sees him as the librarian. Our generation's like, yeah, the young guy from the ER show from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Sorry. I don't even know what the librarian is.
All right, just spiraled on Jeff Canada on Google. I see like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Don't do it. Turn back. Turn back.
Famous. Look at them.
That. Show name from D Factor, Double Jeopardy. If you the greatest online video of all time, in my opinion, is Jeopardy.
Jeff.
Okay?
Jeff. I'll take Jeff.
I'll take Jeff.
Yeah.
It's not G of Fortune. It is not. It is Double Jeopardy.
You'll be shocked to learn that has been forwarded to me many times.
Yes. Was I the first one to send it to you though?
Maybe. It's possible. It's possible.
Because the first time I watched it, I was like, Jeff. Send this to Jeff immediately. Jeff. It's good to see everybody in chat. I know we had a lot of people in the chat on Monday during the national championship, and we're going to do a lot of that. Leighton and I talked about the Super Bowl. Depending on what happens with my Steelers this weekend, I'm hoping in a snowy Buffalo snowstorm, something weird happens and we beat the Bills.
Listen, I think it's awesome that the Steelers got in.
Thank you.
It's impressive, right? I think if we had asked you after week 5, you would not have had any kind of hope.
No hope. Yeah.
I think if you were to go to this show during week 5, I probably had a meltdown and like yelled about it. And here we are in the playoffs.
After week 1, when the Niners crushed the Steelers, remember week 1? And you were like, "Oh, all of my hopes and dreams for what the season is going to be are already gone." Like the fact that they're in the playoffs, I think, hey man, that's great.
Hey, anything is possible. Anything is possible.
It's pretty amazing. It's a bummer that they had to get the Bills in week 1 because I feel like almost any of these other teams could be picked off.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe they'll pick off the Bills, but I feel like the Bills, it might be the strongest AFC wild card weekend team.
Yeah. Leighton's laughing at this. It's not just a little snow.
It's a buffaloed.
It's a buffaloed, which is also the name of a porn studio in.
My mind was something totally.
Yeah. Woody the Duck, as a Chiefs fan, I'm rooting for the Steelers. I personally think that we match up better against the Chiefs than we do the Bills.
I agree, man. I think the Texans and the Browns are both vulnerable. The Dolphins are certainly vulnerable. Everybody, the Bills, I feel like is the strongest wild card weekend.
Yeah,
team.
Man, it's
we'll see. It can happen.
Stressful. But yeah, man. I don't know. I wish TJ Watt was playing. That's all I can say. Because
that's the biggest bummer. Is that injury. That's a heartbreaker right there.
Really tough.
Yeah.
But we can get into the playoffs a little bit later. I do want to talk, Jeff, if we can, about all of the firings and the retirings and the possible hirings that have gone on in the NFL this
last
week.
3-4 days. Yeah. It's been a lot. Some shockers.
Shockers.
I gotta say,
great shockers.
My two least favorite people in all of football.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't wish ill will on anybody except perhaps Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I don't like those people. Pete Carroll has annoyed me since USC. You know what I'm saying?
I chew a lot of gum, but Pete Carroll makes me look like I've never chewed gum before.
I cannot stand him. I don't like to be personal about attacking people, but man, Pete Carroll, there's something about his like chewing his cud on the side and then all his happy running, giving hugs to people and stuff. It's like, it's so performative. It seems like he
does seem
knows
performative.
the camera is always on him and he knows that he's got to do this dog and pony show every time. And man, I am not sad to see him go. I will tell you that.
No.
Let's start with Pete Carroll then. Fine, let's start with Pete Carroll.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bury the lead, but you know.
No, I think you're right.
No,
okay. Go. Leighton, your opinions on Pete Carroll, because you're an NFC guy as well.
Oh, I stopped caring about him since he blew that Super Bowl. I was confused as to why he had a job this long. So I was actually happy to see him go. I felt no remorse. And I thought it was funny that the only player to really post about him was Mark Sanchez.
That's pretty funny.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, as somebody that led a team to a national title at USC, and then when things were starting to look a little tough, he's like, I'm out. That's fucked up.
Oh, I know. He left because he knew they were going to be sanctioned, and he knew he knew the hammer was coming down, and he pieced out of town before he had faced any consequences.
Yes.
He's not a classy dude, in my opinion.
Not at all. And he's never fought for Reggie Bush. He's never gone and been like, you know what? Reggie Bush deserves to have his Heisman back. He's never like got on a platform and said that straight up. Nobody. Reggie Bush deserves that Heisman back.
He knew every single thing that happened.
Yes.
He was aware of every dollar that changed hands. There's no way he didn't know, and he just left before he had to face any consequences, like a weasel. And so I have no sympathy for.
There's just like, he created this like Hollywood type thing at USC, and everybody is like, hey, it's this big thing, and then they win a national championship, and then, dude, I don't know if this is the right way to compare this, but it's sort of like this is like, hey, you're in love with somebody, and they get like a major injury, and they're no longer like the same person. You're like, deuces. Good luck with the rest of your life. I don't want to hang out with somebody who's not the person that he left them so high and dry, and the program has not been the same since. And he's, he goes to Seattle, and he's got success in Seattle, all across the board in football. Okay. All of these coaches. I'm going to put Nick Saban aside because I don't know how Nick Saban has done it. I don't know why he's so popular. I don't know why kids want to go play for him other than, I don't understand it per se, because I don't want to go play for a hard ass that seems like a hard ass when I could go play for another program in a better state and hopefully win another like a national championship elsewhere. Okay. Like, I don't understand that. What I do understand is that, like, if I was Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick are good coaches that got so lucky with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If you could be the greatest coach on the planet. If you don't have a quarterback that can manage a football game and hit wide receivers, you are going to get fired. Every single time, unless you're Mike Tomlin, and somehow,
dude, you gotta give it up for Mike Tomlin. Like, how does that dude pull rabbits out of the hat every season? I don't understand it, but and then, like, Russell Wilson starts kind of, he wasn't as good, and they get rid of him. Then Geno Smith and the Seahawks aren't as good, and he loses the Legion of Boom, and he like still keeps his job, and people are like, I don't know about Pete Carroll anymore, and he's still like, serviceable, but they're not like contenders at all. I mean, one of the seasons, didn't he get into the playoffs with a losing record? He loses a Super Bowl when he had the best running back in football, and all of those decisions combined, and the fact that he just doesn't seem like the kind of dude that I would want to play for. And he kept his job that long in Seattle. Well, he is, to his credit, he is on a very, very short list of coaches that have won a national championship and a Super Bowl. It's him, Jimmy Johnson, and Barry Switzer, right? Yes. So like that's an impressive, that's a very small list of people.
Yes.
But you're right. Like, and it's pretty clear, dude was fired.
Yes.
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 He said last week, like, oh, I'll be back next year. See you guys next year. And then
well, even him in his like going to an advisor role in his press conference, like, oh, just be clear, like I petitioned, like I was fighting for my job. I was fighting to stay the coach. Just so everybody's aware, like I wanted to be the coach.
Yeah.
Freddie Airmail, a new coach wouldn't succeed starting out being like Saban. Saban continued to succeed because he started out in an era where being a hard ass wasn't an issue and can continue to succeed for years and years. Still,
I don't necessarily agree because I think Kirby Smart is like that. I think Steve Sarkisian, a lot of the coaches who came out of the Saban tree, they all have that same pedigree. They're all hard asses. I think your coaches who are too nice are actually the ones that don't succeed. Right. You know Lane Kiffin is going to get only so far, right? He still kind of comes off as the nice guy. Lincoln Riley, I think, is a great example of that.
Do you think that's unique to college football because the kids are so young that you got to be like a ball buster and you got to be, you got to keep.
But it's going to change.
To men, you're turning them from boys to men, Jeff. And when they get to the NFL, they're already
going to change
to men.
Right? They're going to get paid.
Yeah, East Coast swine. Sam Brown says it best. Jeff Canada greater than Matt Canada. Yeah, everybody's greater than Matt Canada.
Hey, you know what though? Still, I'll take it. Yeah,
take it. No, I'm not insulting you, Jeff. That was more of an insult to Matt Canada. Is really what it was. Because you're better than a lot of people.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Not to switch to Belichick, but do you think his stigma is gone? Like, do you think people, said for years he is undisputed best coach ever, except for the fact that dude got fired. Brady leaves, his teams suck.
It's terrible.
He gets fired. Like that. Does that? You can't take away his accomplishments, but also like I remember those years, dude. People talked about him as being this genius.
Yeah. Yes.
That he was going to take away this. He was going to take away your best, whatever you do best on the field. Belichick would outcoach you. No. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's not true. But like Brady leaves and he's doesn't win anything,
Okay. One thing I will say is that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady specifically, always had our number when the Steelers played them, especially in the playoffs. We always lost them in the playoffs when Tom Brady was the quarterback. Okay. I think Bill Belichick defensively schemes a lot better than a lot of coaches, and he has for a very long time. He's a very good defensive mind and has and he seems to put the right defensive schemes in there. He didn't have to worry about an offense for 20 years.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Like he could have decent weapons and he's got the greatest quarterback of all time back there, knowing full well that like, all right, I mean, we may not win every game 35-10, but we're going to win the close ones and we're never out of it in the fourth quarter. And if we need Tom to take over, Tom can take over. When he didn't have that, it really showed some like glaring holes in the Belichick system. The other thing I will say is in the Belichick system, name me a Belichick protege that has gone on to be a very successful.
That's right. But on the other hand, you can with the Bill Walsh proteges. You can't, like those other like trees that have gone out. You can.
Yes.
Right.
There's
you
no
can.
Belichick tree. Right.
Yes. Yeah. The Bill Belichick tree is the leaves fall and then are really bummed that they fell and have to crawl back into the tree.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, Bill, I went to Notre Dame and it didn't go well. Hey, Bill, I went to Cleveland and it didn't go well. Bill, I went to New York and it didn't go well. Like every single guy, Josh McDaniels, it didn't go as I planned. Right. Like none of his guys leave Bill Belichick. There's a Tom Brady, man, did he really cover a ton of like faults in a team? Like at the end of the day, like you're just putting fresh paint over awful stuff. And Tom Brady was the greatest artist of all time. And for 20 plus years, yes, you can go to all these Super Bowls, but at the end of the day, if Bill Belichick doesn't have Tom Brady, he did get fired from Cleveland and he went to New York. He was like, I don't want to be in the Jets. Let me go to the New England. And he got super like the luckiest. It's always better to be lucky than good. right?
Yeah.
It's always better to be lucky than good. Okay. The luckiest draft in the history of drafts, maybe next to Brock Purdy at this point. We yet to be seen. Okay.
Yeah.
The luckiest draft in the history of drafts, and paved his way to be considered the greatest of all time in an era when like that doesn't happen. But what do you think? Where do you rank Brian Foles among the Belichick coaching team? Brian Foles? Where's he now?
Yeah, where is he now? I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
Vikings?
Brian Foles.
Denver? Where'd he go?
I see.
Quang Yun said, not from a football background, but Tom Brady is a legend. You are right, Quang. You are right. Hey, Jonathan Peck.
Do they mean Brian Flores?
Brian Flores. Yeah. Flores is in Minnesota. He was in Pittsburgh for a bit, didn't do a ton. I think he's okay. Right? Like I think he got a bad deal in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Then the whole he filed that suit. Tomlin hired him. I think he's serviceable. I don't think there's anything like super special about Flores. There was nothing special about Bill O'Brien. I mean, he came to Penn State and he like took over a program that was in a total disaster. He did okay. Mm-hmm. He's good at working with quarterbacks. He's not a great head coach. I will say this, as far as Belichick goes, he's great at hiring coordinators. Yeah. Because they all rank and file under him and they learn how to be a coordinator, but they don't learn how to be a head coach.
Right.
Yeah. OVO Ghost. I know who Brian Flores is. I didn't know who Brian Foles was.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Harry back. Belichick or Saban, who is harder to replace? Saban. And it's not close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's going to actually be a hard job to fill because, like, how do you even follow Saban?
Oh my God,
hard.
And
I think there's going to be a lot of people lining up to be the Patriots head coach, but I feel like sure Alabama's not going to have a problem, but like, still,
I think being a head football coach in college is 10x harder and more exhausting than being a coach in the NFL. I really do. Yeah. I will tell you why. It's because in the pros, you have a GM, you have a president of football operations, you have scouts all over the place that really just have to look at people that want to come get paid to play football, right?
Yeah.
You have guys that like see other things and whatever, but you don't have to recruit. You have to build a culture.
But I think,
go ahead, Jeff.
I think that's the thing that when you become a Saban, that's your superpower.
Right.
Because you walk into some living room in the middle of America and you're Nick fucking Saban.
Yeah.
And the parents are eyes as big as saucers. And you're like, I want them to come and play for me, and they, like that's, that I think there's like a momentum to that, that once you become one of these kind of legendary names in college football, you have power.
Yeah.
And you have recruiting power. And I think I think that's what's hard to replace also. If you're Alabama, if you're like, we got to find the next guy who's going to, who are they going to get?
Keep in mind, it took them 2 coaches to get it right after Bill Bryant.
Right.
Left. So it's probably going to be the same thing for them.
I mean, after Bear Bryant, they went into some dark times, right? Like the mid 90s was brutal for Alabama. Then they have like a violation too that, there was some rough stuff in there for Bama. Steven Sautel, I believe the Alabama head coach vacancy is one of the most desirable in the last 10 years in college football. I'm a UGA fan. The program is the epitome of greatness. It's the program everybody wants to coach, I think. I also think that Nick Saban, old guy, 70, 71 years old, at a point, 1, you get tired. 2, you lose touch with, the youth a little bit, right? But you also, the other thing that we're not talking about at all, we haven't even mentioned, is the fact that college football players are basically getting paid to play now.
Right.
Yeah. So and the transfer portal has changed everything.
Transfer portal and the NIL. Like, hey, okay, if you go to Alabama, you're going to have a better chance at a lot of NIL dollars, you would think, right? I mean, they're a national program. They're going to be on SportsCenter all the time. They're going to be on national television. They're going to get a ton of spotlight, right? But the transfer portal is real. So if those kids don't like playing for a certain coach and they transfer out of there, now you got this transfer portal, and that transfer portal, it can either hurt you or, kill you or marry you to the school.
Right.
But I also don't think Bama actually has the NIL dollars. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but during SEC Media Days, I think last year, Nick Saban sent out a dog whistle basically saying, look, we're going to have to put up more money that y'all aren't willing to spend to compete. So I think he kind of knew that too. Like our ways of winning are just not going to last compared to what Texas can do.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And I mean, the money that comes in through Texas is, I mean, I would think a lot more than Alabama, but I don't know. Yes.
Yeah.
Freddie Ermel, OVO Ghost, how does a new coach establish the recruiting power? I think in today's world, you have to be super charismatic. Mm-hmm. You got to be offensive minded, and straight up, you have to be cool. You have to be
that, and also you use the power of the school, right?
Yes.
You sort of lean on the school, and you're like, hey, it's still Bama, it's still we're still gonna try to put your kid into the NFL. You know what I mean? So,
I don't know. Of those three coaches that or if we're calling legendary to a certain extent, right? Rank them in their legendariness.
Oh, Nick Saban.
You think Nick Saban is more legendary than Bill Belichick?
Yes. I mean, I think only because of the last few seasons. Like if Belichick had retired when when he lost Brady, he would it would be unquestioned as the greatest football coach in the history of humankind. Yeah. But he has marred that legacy by people going, "Oh, wait, you're not superhuman." I think he's done so much to damage his reputation by just hanging around and losing.
Right. And
because there were people debating when Brady went to Tampa. There were people going, "Who's going to succeed? Right. Which one is going to win the Super Bowl first, Belichick or Brady?" And it was like a legit debate.
What a terrible argument.
Yeah.
But people argued for Belichick. Like, oh no, he's the real reason they won. He's the real reason, Yeah. And we've seen that play out, and there's hard data now. It's like so I think that's why you can say Saban at this point. But I think if it had been a few years ago that he retired, I don't think anybody would argue that Belichick wasn't the greatest football coach ever.
Go ahead, Lay.
Oh, I was reading comments here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Freddie says, in my opinion, it's harder to be a good college head coach for a sustained period because turnover is constant and inevitable. I think that's what makes Saban great, because the man was having to hire new coordinators every other year.
Yeah.
And then we saw him win, or at least make it to the playoffs with teams that weren't great. I mean, even this year's Alabama team, it was good, but it wasn't his best. And he was still a game away from a national championship. So,
dude, he was seconds away.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the SEC is always going to be awesome. Was always awesome. Is always awesome. I'm not taking anything away from, but Nick Saban in Alabama basically became the standard bearer, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like, all right, if we can beat Alabama, we can beat anybody. Mm-hmm. Right. They were the NFL team in college football. They were the NFL team in the SEC, all of that. Right. So the fact that he built a juggernaut in a conference that's already a juggernaut in a league that is turning 10 to 15 teams every year are kind of considered juggernauts, if you will. Right. Mm-hmm. 4, 8, whatever. I think he just saw okay, we almost made the final again. I didn't want a victory lap. I don't think he wanted that attention. Once you do a retirement tour, right? Yeah. Where everybody's doing your thing. It takes away from all of the games. You're not really prepping for the games. Nobody really playing. It ruins your recruiting. It ruins all that kind of stuff. And he didn't want to go out and ruin the next coach's chance at doing all of that. Right. I in a world like college football, where I'm every year, my Penn State Indian Lions just constantly leave me out to dry. The fact that Saban brought all the joy to Alabama and set it up for the rest. I mean, the next coach in there, it's following Alex Trebek, right? It's,
yeah.
It's hard. Yeah. I will say this morning, people crying about Bill Belichick. I was about to puke.
Okay. But have you seen the statue of Nick Saban at Bama right now? It's covered in flowers. It's covered in flowers. And, he eats his breakfast every morning is oatmeal pies and coffee. So his statue is covered in oatmeal pies and flowers. I'm like, he's not dead.
I know, right?
He's just retired.
That's amazing.
OVO
Yeah, that
goes-
was the bigger shock to me. Everybody kind of saw Belichick coming, right?
Yeah.
We've been talking about it a lot, but Nick Saban was a shock, and Pete Carroll was a shock. I was very surprised Pete Carroll got booted.
I wasn't surprised, but I wasn't shocked either. Or I wasn't like, I don't know. There was some middle ground where Pete Carroll I thought would be out, right?
Yeah.
OVO goes, the last 12 teams to win the Natty was either Bama or a team that beat Bama.
Mhm.
Think about that. That's a pretty crazy stat, man.
Yeah,
that's a pretty crazy stat.
And yet
dominance.
Kirk Ferentz still has a job. I'm gonna be on this for a while, Josh.
Yeah. Clayton is still very upset. You just have to understand there's a few things Iowa people like, right? They like caucuses. Okay.
Waving at children.
They just
Corn.
do. Okay.
Yeah, corn.
Right.
Yep.
They love Hawkeyes, apparently, right?
Yeah, it's not a real animal.
They hate points. They hate points.
Mhm.
Okay. They love punts. They love punts.
I love a punt.
Right. If you drive around Iowa today from Des Moines to Cedar Rapids to anywhere,
Yeah.
all you're going to see is kids out front. You're not going to see them throwing the ball to each other.
I'm practicing punting.
They're punting the ball to each other.
Yeah.
Duh.
I want to be a
It's the
quarterback.
Iowa
Dad.
way of
No.
life. Did
No-
you see the
No
Republican
son of
debate?
mine dreams to be a quarterback.
Yeah. Did you see the Republican debate? Nikki Haley came out just punting balls into the crowd. She started throwing them. They were booing her. Get out of here. We don't want you throwing the ball. We punt here in Iowa. Okay.
That's where the
Kirk
kicker Hall of
Ferentz
Fame is located.
Knows how to play to his strengths. If he can score 0 points, that means he can never win, but he can always punt.
Do you think he intentionally scouts kickers? Like walks up to them, rubs their legs, is like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Give me that quad. Let me
Yeah.
feel that quad.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good quad.
yeah,
Look at the
boy.
calf on that kid.
Oh, that's a good punting quad right there. That's a good extension calf you got there. You've been punting in your yard? Yeah, come on to Iowa. We need it. Steven Sutton, not a Carroll fan either, but he should not have been fired. All of Seattle's losses were legitimate ones. They were sneaky strong, and I'm surprised they did it after this season. I'm not. I mean,
Yep, fire him. Go on.
yeah.
Fire
Freddie
him.
Amos, show name. Give me that quad.
Give me that quad.
Real quick heads up, for the first time ever in the history of this program, Fan Controlled Show, the show name will be voted on in app.
Oh,
You get to decide what our show name is, and that show name is going to be in a poll in the app.
look at
So
that.
get that app. Get that app.
So
Get
innovative.
that app.
Do we have the QR code we can put up?
Yeah, throw the app, download the app straight on the Q card. What? The Q card?
There it is.
QR code. Yeah, put that in there. Download the app and vote on the show name. Freddie Airmail with a good show name. Put this in the this is number 1 so far. Give me that quad.
Give me that quad.
Give me that quad. D Factor, thankfully we don't do any kicking in this league. Yeah, that's probably why we don't have a team in Iowa.
Yeah.
It just really
Can't get
makes
any-
sense.
If
Yeah.
you look at the map of all the fan-controlled football fans,
Yes.
there's like a big gaping hole in Iowa.
Yeah.
Dense everywhere else. People love it.
Love it.
Iowa can't get a single person to watch.
0 people in Iowa. Des Moines, forget it. I can't even fly into that airport. Like, what are you doing here? You took kicking out of football. You took punting,
Get out
the
of
most
town.
exciting play in football. You took it out of it?
Mm.
Not in this state. Not in this state, sir. No fucking way. Jonathan Peck, it was like fired via promotion for Carroll with him as an advisor. I don't think so.
That's not a promotion.
That's not a
No.
promotion. there, JP.
That's
Love
called
you,
throwing
JP.
him a bone.
Yeah. It's like, hey, bud.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
that like you wanted to coach, okay, but like, and we really like you in the building. You're a big morale guy, big vibe guy. But
We're not saying you have to leave.
You don't.
We're just saying you can't be on the field at any point.
With
Okay. Our poll names, Jeff. They're in
Love
that in the private chat. Go ahead.
Soul Cycle Inferno. We will keep your meatballs. I like that one. That one's good. Double Jeopardy.
Boom.
And give me that quad.
Give me that
Give me
quad.
that quad.
And the-
I'm kind of leaning toward we will keep your meatballs. That's pretty good. I like give me that quad though a lot too.
Oh, pick my poll is one of the show names.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry. Pick my ball. I thought we could only have 4 names.
5 apparently. Let me look in the app here. I thought it was 4 only too, but I only go in the app every single day, so who knows?
Pick my poll. Sorry, pick my poll.
Pick
my poll.
Pick my poll. I think it was because I was saying like pick not poll. The pick was the poll. The poll was the pick. Pick next week's fan controlled show name. I like that Jess used our thumbnail and it zoomed in so hard. It's just the eye of the chicken. Yeah. So double Jeopardy. Give me that quad. Soul Cycle Inferno and pick my poll. So we will keep your meatballs. Didn't make it.
Oh, stab me in the heart. That's okay. Give me that quad.
I really want to give me that quad.
I think we should have just done all 4 as Kallax 4 cube, Kallax 8 cube, Kallax,
Kallax,
and the Kallax 32.
I really learned from the other day.
If you go hard, if you get that Kallax 32, that's an all-day assembly job. Is what?
Wait a second. You scroll down. It's in there. My bad. I didn't even know we could scroll. Huh. We will keep your meatballs is in there, Jeff.
Yay, boy! It's really a roller coaster of emotions.
It really is, Jeff. And you know what? As somebody that works on this app every single day, you think I'd know that? But
I think
I'm going to go with give me that quad.
Give me that quad.
So currently, give me that quad at 21%. And yes. Okay. Do you guys want the other picks and polls I did on the app? Do you guys want to? I would like to know your thoughts on these.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh wait, let's do our quick predictions for the playoff games this weekend in the NFL.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on. Let me pull up the schedule here.
I got it. I can tell you. So
Okay,
we got Saturday, the 2:30 game, or the early game on Saturday is Browns Texans.
Browns Texans. Okay.
Give me that CJ.
I'm going Browns.
Browns.
I'm gonna take the Texans.
Okay.
Wow.
I got to go with my buddy Kev. I got to go with Kevin. I got to go with he's our friend. He's a guy. He's a friend of the show. He's a friend of the program. Kevin Stefanski. Give it to the Browns. All right, who's next?
Like Stefanski, but that CJ Stroud. He's fun to watch.
He does. CJ Stroud is good. He's good.
All right. The late game on Saturday is Dolphins Chiefs. Dolphins kind of limping into the playoffs. Chiefs been limping all season. So
this is true.
Battle of the limps, I guess. What do you guys like? What do you guys like?
Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are in this early round. I don't think you're going to beat the Chiefs. I really don't.
Kind of leaning Dolphins, I'll be honest.
Ooh, interesting. I'm going to take the Chiefs as well. I think they figure out how to turn it on in the playoffs, and I feel like the Dolphins have been just underperforming, and their defense is terrible, and
it's not good.
Yeah,
and they have so many injuries. Oh, it's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah. They had a couple more injuries over the last game, didn't they? The last game, anyway. All right. Sunday's early game is your Steelers.
Yes.
At the Bills.
Well, we know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, of course.
I'm gonna go Bills.
Yeah, my heart wants to pick the Steelers because I would love for you to win, but I think the Bills are gonna win. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. It's okay.
Then we got we got the Packers Cowboys game. This should be a good one.
I think this is going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I agree.
Really
I'll pick first. I'm actually going to pick the Packers to upset the Cowboys. I would love the Cowboys to go out in the first round again. Would be so delicious. Delicious.
Lick my like big chicken, Jeff.
Yeah,
like big chicken.
And Love is playing so well over the last few games. I think they could do it. But Leighton, what's your pick? Packers, Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys. I really want them to lose the Super Bowl. That's why.
He wants to go all the way to the Super Bowl and lose.
Yeah, that's what I really want.
Leighton sees this whole thing.
McCougs, what do you got?
I would love to pick the Packers, but I think that Dallas is going to come in there and mow them down.
Really? All right.
Yeah, I think they're going to cover the spread. I think it might be a shellacking. I think Jordan Love is the future. I think he's really good. I don't think he's ready for this stage just yet. I mean, I don't think Dak Prescott's ready for this stage yet. He's not ready for it. I just think that I don't think the Packers have enough to be.
All right.
Yeah.
The night game on Sunday is the Stafford Bowl.
Okay.
Rams Lions. Old Stafford team versus new Stafford team. All Stafford all the time.
I want to pick the Lions. We all want to pick the Lions. The Lions. You don't want to pick the Lions?
Definitely
I
going
think
Rams.
the Lions are it's a fun story. You want like the perennial loser. He's doing his thing.
Yep.
I think it's going to be the Rams.
Yeah,
Really?
Give me the Rams. Give me the Rams.
My goodness.
Yeah, I think
I'll take the
Rams
Lions. I'm going to take the Lions. I think, they got a home playoff game in the first time since 1847. You know,
since 1840. It was before Taylor Sheridan started making shows.
That's right.
Before the NFL.
They yeah, you heard me. I got the date
quick
right.
update on the show poll there, Jeff, in the chat. Double Jeopardy at 29%.
Woo.
Pick my poll at 24%.
Woo.
Still got a little bit of time left for the poll.
Nice.
The poll will end in about 5 to 7 minutes. Jonathan Peck in chat saying Packers beat Cowboys. If Packers beat the Cowboys, they might be the first number 7 seed team to win a playoff game. D Factor, this is the first time that my show name suggestion wins the poll if the percentage holds.
Nice.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
BC Line, no poll on Twitch. We're doing the poll in the app.
In the app, BC
Get
Line.
that app.
In
Get that.
the
Look
app.
right there.
The
You
poll
can
will be
download it. Just
forever
point your
in the app.
camera at the screen.
Yeah.
We got one more
I'm
game
sure
to pick, guys. We got the Monday night game.
Okay.
Eagles Bucks. Now this is a tasty meatball because
This is it's an IKEA meatball Calax surprise.
The Eagles are atrocious, and the Bucks also not great. Do the Eagles beat themselves, or do they pull themselves out of this downward spiral by beating what is clearly the weakest team in the playoffs, in my opinion?
Well, I forgot that like everybody forgot about the NFC South. Sorry, late.
No, that's fine. We earned it.
You know, the Buccaneers getting into the playoffs. I was like, oh right, Baker Mayfield. There was a team there this year. I think the Eagles win. I do. I think that as bad as they were going in, I don't think they're as bad as the Bucks. But they did lose to the Giants, so I don't know.
I think they got the yips at this point. They're just in their own heads, you know. I think they got a bunch of weird injuries too. Like everybody's getting injured over there too. I don't know. I am the Schadenfreude of them losing in the first round would give me so much joy. I'm going to be rooting for the Bucks, but I don't know how. If they go into Tampa Bay and lose, man, that would be like coaches get fired, teams get. I mean, that's you going from 10-1 to this. Woo! So I don't know. I think the Eagles are going to win, but man, I'm hoping they don't. I would love to watch just the chaos of that.
Freddie Emerald with some hot effing takes in here. I'd say the AFC South is weaker than the NFC South at this point.
Oof.
I don't know about that. That seems a little, but I'm not saying it's not. And then the Eagles are might be the worst playoff team right now.
I think that's they have more talent on that team. Like just on paper, that's not true. You know,
I'm taking the Bucks.
Ooh, spicy pick.
I think they're trending upward while the Eagles are trending downward. So I'm taking the Bucks in this one. I trust Todd Bowles. I really do.
All right. Ovio Go saying Tampa Bay winning. Hurts still can't even hold a football. Oh, they'll shoot that finger full of drugs and they'll put him in there.
Is that true? Is that true, or that's what they're saying? Like, is that true? His finger did look weird. It was all
weird.
It was all
like it got
the wrong direction.
Yeah. It's like the one and only time I played rugby, my pinky went sideways. Like this sport sucks.
Like to at least console the fans, you think the Eagles will put out a video of him throwing the ball around at practice? But we have seen nothing.
You know who I kind of like a little bit? I kind of root for is Baker Mayfield.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
I do too. I kind of want that guy to like get a little success. He seems like a decent dude, you know?
I think he's like the greatest quarterback. He's like the greatest 500 quarterback we'll ever see.
Probably.
Right? Like listen, he's not going to go 11-5 or 12, like 12-5, whatever, 13-4. Okay. But he's really a really good 9-7, 9-8.
I mean,
he just seems like a quarterback. He seems like a good Gardner Minshew to me. They seem like the same person. Him and Minshew.
I think a Minshew Mayfield bowl would be good.
Yeah.
Do you know that he has the record for the longest pass distance in the air, Baker Mayfield?
Really?
Yeah, my son was asking me all these questions the other night. He was like, "Daddy, what's the longest pass that's ever been completed?" And so we were asking Alexa like we do because dad doesn't know everything. Alexa does. And it turns out Baker Mayfield has the longest completed pass in the air. You know, not
in the
not
air,
run after catch, but it's 70.5 yards.
I was just going to say, I was going to go over under like 67 and a half,
Yeah.
68 and a half. 70 yards is a bomb.
That is an arm.
Nice.
Unless you're a punter in Iowa, then that's just
And
then it's amateur hour is what that is.
Duh.
But can you do it with your leg?
Freddie Earmel, Baker got a raw deal in 2 stops before this. I mean, Cleveland was tough before Kevin got there. And then I think, I don't know. I mean, they wanted to make an upgrade in quarterback. Deshaun Watson, I think, was the bad choice, but clearly Jay Flacco comes in there, And then where did Baker go before, in between here? Was he in the
LA.
Raiders?
LA.
Saints? LA, that's right.
Rams.
Rams. And nobody knows, I couldn't even tell you who owns the Buccaneers, let alone, going to Tampa Bay and being a relative unknown with a fan base that doesn't show up for games. I think it's a pretty good spot for him to go 500. Yeah, he's living the dream.
Living the dream.
It's like being a soccer player in the MLS. You can go wherever and nobody's going to know who you are. You get paid to play a professional sport.
Yeah. Keep your anonymity.
Yeah. Obio Ghost, they need to bring back the OG NFL All-Star comps like longest throw. I did love the longest throw in the All-Star competition. I love that. That was super fun. Excuse me. Okay. Let's do my polls that are picks.
Do it.
A little Josh Purdy style end of the thing. Okay. Jeff, I think this one's pretty easy. How far do you think you could throw a standard paper airplane on a football field?
Standard airplane.
Dude,
20 yards or 50 yards plus?
Oh, it's not even 20.
You think it's under?
Yeah. You know why? Because I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, which means we make paper airplanes all the damn time.
Oh,
they don't go that far.
Okay.
They don't go that far. We've tried. My son got a book of paper airplane designs and we've tried all the different ones. Some are better than others. They go 15 yards tops.
Okay.
That's my.
I don't know, Jeff. Listen, I've been 20 yards away from a green, and it's not that far. You see, it thinks farther.
They curve and they slam right into the ground. That's what happens with a paper airplane. No, the way you do a paper airplane is if I'm in the football stadium, I go up on the upper deck, then I throw the paper airplane. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. But from the field level, not great.
Okay. Leighton,
under 20,
what do you think?
Under 20.
Yeah. Okay. 20 yards is I think 20 is my max. Okay. What's the better bar game? Pool, billiards, or darts?
Darts. Sorry.
Billiards. Are you kidding?
Darts.
I mean, I don't know. I think I could play darts all night.
Oh, dude, I get all over billiards. Pool. Oh, come on.
Oh,
darts is fun. I'm not arguing that darts not fun, but
I watched so many TikTok videos of the World Darts Championship. There was a 16-year-old kid that made it all the way to the finals, and everybody else was just a fat dude from England, and he was fat and 16, but everybody else was just a sweet overweight dude from England. It was awesome. I would be into really trying to get good at darts. Pool just seems so effing hard. I'm good at it, good-ish. But I think with the way you score and how fast you can do a darts game, I think I'd be.
I think darts is only fun when you're trying to get specific numbers and you got to aim at different.
Yes.
That's what's fun about darts. But
yeah.
But I also feel you got to be somewhat of an asshole to be good at billiards.
Describing the game.
I know I am, but billiards. There's so many different games of billiards. You can play 9-ball, you can play 8-ball, you can play snooker, you can play all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're going darts here, Jeff. I apologize. Darts. All right. Next, over 100 yards. Do you think you could outrun a cow?
Whew. Do they move? This is a female milk cow, or we're talking a bull?
No, I think we're talking about you go to a field 100 yards and it's you versus a normal field cow. It's not like the ones they have running at you in Spain. It's a cow in America.
Yeah, I get it.
Do they move? I don't know if they move. They move.
That's the question. We don't know.
Woody the Duck says they're fast.
How do you know?
I believe a duck. A duck knows about cows.
What do the duck knows about cow? OVO goes Luke Littler, the dart prodigy. He's right. Luke Littler. He was 16.
Luke Littler.
That's a great dart name.
That is a great dart name.
Like straight off, like if we're both starting stand still, okay?
Kind of looks like Freddie.
Off the gate, I think I could take a cow 100 yards. I think I'd take it.
Yeah.
Man, I'd like to think I could. I feel like I might get embarrassed by the cow. You know?
I'm taking it. I'm taking it, Josh. I'm with you.
Taking it.
I'm with you.
I'm going straight up.
Yeah.
I can beat the cow. 100%.
By the way, that's a big assumption that you and I could even make it 100 yards without passing out.
Jeff, I've been to the gym 6 times already in 2024. Come on. All I do is really walk uphill on the treadmill. Okay. And then finally, should FIFA widen the goal in soccer to allow for more goals? And I said, definitely, or let's test it.
I think let's test it is my answer, because I like a goalie. I think a goalie's job is very difficult. And I like a great goalie play. Like when they leap up and punch the ball at the last second, that's a fun play. And if you just like reduce the possibility of that to 0, it might not be fun anymore. You know?
Would you rather be a soccer or a hockey goalie?
Well,
Soccer.
Hockey goalie, you have to be able to do the splits. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. You know,
soccer goalie, you get like 6 to 7 shots a game, right?
Yeah.
Hockey goalie, there's like 35 shots a game, and they're fired like 100 miles an hour, and it's a puck.
Yeah. And there's dudes like smacking you right on you when the puck's just
there's always guys in front of you, and you're trying to like move and duck.
No, you're right.
I say I say definitely widen the goal. I'm not saying by a ton, but like, okay, maybe you put up little blockers during penalty shots to make the goal smaller or whatever. But I think you widen the goal just enough to make like the goalie's job a little bit harder and to increase scoring. I think you definitely do it.
I say test it. But this might
Woody
be
the Duck.
Might be one of those like the baseball improvements that happened last season. I mean, maybe one of those things is like, yeah, that's cool. I don't know.
Like the pitch clock.
Yeah.
I think it was cool.
Yeah.
Show name, Jeff.
Whoa, it's double Jeopardy. Thanks, everybody. That's cool. Woody the Duck says cows run 17 to 26 miles per hour.
That's basically what you could get up to max speed, I think.
Me?
Yeah, like 17 miles an hour?
No, dude, that's like the fastest play in the NFL. They hit maybe 19, 20 miles an hour. The fastest runner, like next gen stats running, the fastest dudes are like 20 miles an hour.
I'm saying from a standstill, like a cow has to get like moving.
Moving.
Okay. And then he has to you get a big enough head start. I think you beat the cow over 100 yards. I'm not saying for,
I appreciate your confidence in me.
No, I've always got confidence in you, Jeff. Okay.
Thanks for voting, folks, in the app.
Thinking it.
Double Jeopardy is what will be called next week, because we are fan controlled and you are the fans and you control it. We appreciate it in the Control app.
Yes, first ever.
OVO Ghost says DK Met calf.
Half.
BC Lion apparently loves Pete Carroll.
Maybe, you know what?
Yeah.
The fact that I never have to see that guy walking on the sidelines chewing his cud, and speaking of cows, chewing his cud anymore.
Speaking of cows.
Anyway, on that note, have a great week, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go Steelers.
Thanks, Jeff.
And we'll see you next week. Until then, power to the fans.
Power to the fans.
you enjoy that video from Fan Controlled Sports and Entertainment? Of course you did. What was it? I have no idea. This is a stock end card on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, watch all of our other videos, comment, like, subscribe, but make sure you don't smash the like button. Use a reasonable